Hello, welcome everyone. I am Alana,
And I'm Lady.
and this is Spookery.
It sure heckin' is, ma'am. It sure heckin' is.
Yes, oh my gosh, it's been a heckin' minute, and I'm really excited.
It's been a whole ass week, and it's your turn. And you're going to tell me about a thing, and I'm going to go, and it's going to be great.
Yes, this week, honestly, our spooky listeners are getting spoiled because they are getting great case after great case this season.
Ooh.
And also, this is another new category for this season.
It
New
is.
category in general.
Yeah.
So-
How does it feel to usher aliens in for the very first time?
I know, right? I was lucky enough to be the one to get extraterrestrials.
Yes,
Let's call them by their proper
My
name.
bad.
No, but truly, I'm so excited. We kind of talked on this about the last episode, but I truly believe that we're not alone on this planet, in this world,
Yeah.
in this galaxy,
Yes,
in this life.
sure. We're never alone if we have each other.
Right, the true aliens with the friends we find along the way.
I subscribe to that. That's the aliens I believe in. They're in your walls. What?
They're in your walls, in your heart. Most importantly,
They're under your bed.
I don't know where. Yeah, they're under your bed. Oh my god. But truly, there might be really advanced life forms out there roaming the galaxies, but most likely there's at least, some other basic life form out there, on a planet far, far away.
Sure.
And we just as easily may never encounter them.
Sure.
But me personally, I want to imagine. I like playing in the worlds of possibility. So I love to imagine that there are crazier life forms out there because honestly, it's way more fun to live your life that way.
Sure, you've got your "I Want to Believe" shirt on. You've got like the little like alien antenna. You're like fully lit up. Like you've got a sign on the top of your house that just says "Here, land here."
Land
It's
here.
for aliens or Santa. You can decide.
I pretty much, like you said, just land here. Planes, helicopters, all of it. Please don't, actually. My house is not zoned for that. I will be in a lot of trouble with my husband.
It's exclusively for drones and Santa and aliens.
Yes.
Helicopters
those
and planes.
specifically.
We need a permit.
All right. Well, so regardless of your take on it, I hope that today that this case will intrigue you. I figured that the first case in the category, it needed to be something juicy. So the case we're talking about today is regarded as one of the most remarkable and well-documented cases out there.
Oh,
So I'm starting you off on a good note, ma'am.
Yeah,
I know
'cause
your alien knowledge is
is
limited.
it's poor. That's
Yeah.
tell it how it is. It's poor. Aliens, out of all of the categories on the wheel, I'm pretty sure aliens is my worst category by far. Like my 200 like case spreadsheet that I have on my wall, like aliens I have like two. I have two, and it's basically just like thing fly ? And that's it. That's all I have. That's all I have. So I'm a willing believer right now. I'm just like, take me on this journey. I want to believe. My tinfoil hat is on. I'm wearing my alien shirt. It's right there. I've got aliens on my shirt because I want to believe. I've got stars on my socks because I'm out of this world. Something.
out of this world. I love it.
I'm channeling.
Oh my
I'm
gosh.
channeling aliens right now.
You are there. Perfect. Well, with that being said, before we get into it, because I do have a good question for you.
I have a bad
But-
answer for that.
That's what I like to hear. But before we get to that, I do want to say that this case today is fairly spooky. Not that, like, I mean, all cases we pick are, but I'm
Yeah.
just like, they're all spooky, right?
Yeah,
They're
yeah, yeah.
spooky. But when I tell you that the story actually made the hair on my arm, like, stand up straight, like,
Ooh.
I mean it. Like, there was a part in this that actually, like, genuinely, like, kind of, like, it just titillated me in a way that I was like,
Ooh.
oh my gosh, this is actually spooky. And I didn't expect that from an alien case.
Wow. Okay.
So with that being said, it is the only real trigger for this, like, trigger warning for this episode. Just minor spookage.
Okay. All right.
But you wouldn't really be here if you couldn't handle that. Now, would you, dear listener?
No, I certainly wouldn't. It's trigger warning,
Right.
guys. You're gonna get the skin skeevies. It's like the blood skeevies, but it makes your skin crawl.
I almost put the blood skis, but I'm like, that's not quite right because that's not what it was. It was, like you said, it was just the skin skeevies. That's a good word.
Get the skin skeeves.
The skin skeeves.
It's like a lesser form of the blood skeeves.
A lesser form. Yeah. It's not quite as bad. But I just want to let you know, if aliens already aren't your thing and you're kind of like veering away from it and, you know, maybe this case isn't for you.
Oh, yeah.
Just
Well, there's plenty more in the Spookery, dear listener. If aliens are not for you, we have plenty of unsolved mysteries. We have survivors. We have a dealer's choice. And we have so much more coming down the pipe. We also have all of season 1. So if aliens is not your thing, please go back in the Spookery, or please wait until next week.
exactly. There's always a case. There's a case for everyone.
There is. And they all come with that minor, it's spooky warning.
Yes, I know. This one particularly, like I said, I don't know. Like, it takes a lot to actually, like, spook me. And this one spooked me.
Ooh, okay. I am so excited. I'm gonna shed my layers. I'm ready. I'm ready to have the skin skeevy.
I'm like nervous to say that though. Watch you like be like, that scared you, like that was nothing, Alana, you big baby.
I don't know, because I get like weirded out by like the strangest things. Like for me it's like caves. Like anything cave related. Like it feels like so weird to say like, oh yeah, I can talk about like a mass like mass murder. I can talk about a serial killer. I can talk about someone getting like flayed. No, but someone got stuck in a cave for 3 days, and I was like, that ain't for me. No, ma'am.
That ain't for me.
Can't do it.
Yeah.
Can't do caves.
There's just some things that spook you out more than others.
Yeah.
So
there's no shame. There's no shame in being scared, because that's what makes you brave.
It's so true, ma'am. Amen to that. So, with that being said, let's forge on.
Yes.
Before we actually get into the case itself, I want to do a little thought experiment. Lady and listeners, please indulge me in this. Mm-hmm. When you actually think of an alien, when you think of an extraterrestrial, what comes to mind? And paint me a picture. Be descriptive.
Okay, so like for me, like there are like 2 stereotypical like alien things that pop in my head. There are 2 types, and like it's almost like classified as like possible friendly and possible like foe. So of course, I think my default when you think of aliens, then you think of like the little green men, like big eyes, like kind of greenish skin. I imagine them bald for some reason. They're hairless. They're completely hairless.
Yeah. Okay.
They're about 4 foot tall. I
Okay.
imagine them with 4 fingers instead of 5 for some reason.
Wow.
Maybe mildly like webbed, and their fingers are like really long.
Wow.
And they're like almost got like baby fat. That's how I remember. I imagine them.
Okay.
And that's for the friendly ones.
Okay.
And then I have the evil
friendly
ones, or not the evil ones,
Okay.
the unfriendly ones. Let's call them. And these ones are taller than me. These ones are tall. So if the green ones are like 4 foot, these ones are like 7 foot, 8 foot. These are like big guys.
Okay.
They're gray.
Yeah.
These are gray.
They're gray.
Also completely hairless, because hair does not exist
Oh.
in space for some reason in my head.
Wow.
Big like soulless eyes, almost like sunken.
Yes.
I imagine like teeth, like big teeth. Almost skeletal. I think that like their skin is like stretched over their bones. Like you can kind of see their ribs, and you can see like their joints, and they're like not spiky, but they're like withered. And they've got
Spindly?
Spindly is a great word. They're
Spindly.
spindly. I love it.
Okay.
Yeah, they're very tall and very lanky.
Please put that word in your hat for later. Spindly.
Spindly. Okay, I've done it again, folks. Ta-da! But yeah, that's what I imagine. Like there's no like baby fat to them. They're like just taut. They're like stretched over their skeletons. Like almost like Slender Man-y, but there's no suit.
Yeah. Wow. That you managed to describe absolutely terrifying depictions either way.
The friendly ones are my personal favorite of terrifying.
Yeah.
These little green baby fat babies coming out of the spaceship like, hello.
Yeah, my worst nightmare. Babies.
We're only 9 minutes in and we've already derailed.
Oh, yeah. Well, you were actually right on track with where I was hoping that you would be.
Ooh.
Truthfully, your answers could not have been better. I can't comment too much more on them.
Okay, fair.
They were fantastic answers. With that being said, tuck them in your hat, and we'll come back
I
to
have
them.
many hats. I will tuck them into all of them.
Please, tuck them. We'll be back.
They're in my tinfoil hat as we speak.
All right. Well, without further ado, let me actually introduce our topic today.
Yes.
What we are talking about.
Okay.
Have you ever heard about the Hopkinsville encounter, or also known as the Hopkinsville Goblins case?
Never. Nope. I, as you are very, very aware, I know nothing about aliens. You could have mentioned the 2 that are on my spreadsheet, and I would have been like, I've never heard of this.
Never heard of it.
I've known nothing. I don't even know if Hopkins is a real place. Isn't it like? Wait, isn't it
Hopkinsville.
Hopkinsville. I was like,
Hopkinsville, Kentucky.
isn't Hopkins like the name of the school from Stranger Things?
Now you have me like questioning it.
Is
Hopkinsville is a
Hopkinsville real?
Right? I did all this research and then I'm like, is this real? It's crazy how much you can just make me question things.
I don't think this is real.
Hopkinsville, Kentucky was established in 1804, so it's real.
It's real.
It's
you
real.
win this round, Kentucky. You win this round.
And you better deal with it, okay?
Now I feel like I have to Google the school in Stranger Things.
Are you thinking of Hopper?
No, because that's the name of the guy.
It is.
Oh, it's Hawkins.
11 minutes in.
It's Hawkins. I was close. Hopkinsville, Kentucky. You win this round, Kentucky, and you win this round, Stranger Things.
Well, the funniest thing about the Hopkinsville encounter and the Hopkinsville Goblin case is it actually did not happen in Hopkinsville. It happened in fun fact.
It didn't even happen in Kentucky. It's a Missouri case.
Kentucky. It happened in Kentucky. Oh my god.
Oh, Kentucky wins again. I am 0 for 3 right now. It's not going well.
Specifically, this happened in the unincorporated community of Kelly.
Kelly Clarkson.
Kelly Clarkson, you got it, folks.
There's a place called Kelly, Kentucky.
There certainly is. It's an unincorporated community, which for those like me who did not know,
What the fuck is
that?
that?
An unincorporated area. It's a region that is not governed by a local municipal court.
What? So they're just lawless. They just live.
They just live.
They have no form of government. They have no currency. They don't even believe in money.
They have no currency. We're gonna get letters from people in Hopkinsville.
We are. I'm so sorry. I'm like,
oh my god,
dear listener. I don't know if you can tell. I'm a little unwell. I think you could hear it in the last episode. I was like a little snuffly, and then like this week I just died. I got like 8 illnesses on top of each other. I'm still recovering from it. I'm a little like doolally. I'm high on cough medication.
She's doing her best, folks.
I am here for the aliens. I think it makes me more entertaining. I'm so sorry, Kentucky. I don't know anything about you. I'm sure you're great. But also, why have you called it the Hopkinsville, Kentucky case when it took place in Kelly? And also, why are you lawless and don't believe in currency?
Why don't you believe in currency? You can ask them yourself. Oh,
I am. I'm directly addressing you, Kentucky. I love you so much, but what the heck is going on?
There's a lot going on, and that's why we're talking about it tonight.
I believe
Specifically, 1955, unincorporated.
Are you
Kelly.
sure it's 1955 and not 1855?
Please don't question me like this. Keep all questions till the end.
I'm sorry. I will ask no further questions, Your Honor.
No further questions. No, you can ask all the questions, please. Please do.
Okay.
What would be this podcast without
It's
your
true.
questions?
I have a lot of questions, and a lot of them are
You do.
unrelated.
And I count on them to pad out the episode, because
I will do my best.
my script's just not that long.
Well, we're doing great.
We're doing great. All right. So, where am I at?
I don't know. We're in Kentucky.
So Kelly itself is, it's exactly, we're in Kentucky. Kelly itself is in Kentucky. It's located right outside Hopkinsville.
Yeah. All right.
Yes.
Yes. Great.
I could not find an exact population count for Kelly, so I assume that they are fairly small.
Okay.
And, I mean, this is fairly small in comparison to, let's talk about Langby, Minnesota, which I was able to find a, population for, and they had less than 100 people.
Yes.
So this has to be really small.
That or they're hiding something. They are lawless and they don't believe in currency.
These are 3 facts. 2 of them might be true.
Find out next week.
This is how we get listeners. We just make things up and say we'll address them and never do.
No, that's a question for the postmortem, where I will in fact
Yes.
tell them that they do believe in currency.
They do believe in currency. They do.
Maybe.
But really, this place is pretty small. Kelly's pretty small.
Okay.
Even when trying to search up places to eat in Kelly, Kentucky, I got literally nothing.
Oh.
From an article written by a Kentucky local or someone that went to Kelly, they stated that in Kelly, there are residential homes and farms, there's a church, and there's a huge park, complete with a playground and a giant UFO in the middle of it.
Oh. So they were just like, they were ready.
They've embraced their, colorful past, if you will.
Okay.
With what reputation stuck.
Okay.
So we'll come back to this giant UFO in the middle of it.
Yeah, I was like, I really hope
park.
that's been there since before then, because like then that's just a really weird coincidence. But I have a feeling it was built after.
Yeah, no, it was built after, but we'll come back to it.
All right.
So yeah, no, it sounds like Kelly, if you live there, you either just go into Hopkinsville for goods and services, or you just kind of take care of things yourself. Like you have a farm, and you're just kind of self-sufficient.
I wonder if this is where like the stereotype, like most like alien movies, when you think of like the first like contact, it's always in a farm. It's always like crop circle. Okay, I'm gonna stop right there. I'm gonna stop that one right there.
It's so funny you say that. Put that in your hat right next to the green men that you described earlier.
Is it specifically green, not the gray men? Because I like the gray men a lot more.
Put that in the hat, man. Put it in the hat.
Okay.
Just make room. Just tell them to scooch on over.
Yes, I have a large hat.
Yes. So, when I tell you that the people of Kelly are pretty independent, that might be an understatement.
All right.
They do things themselves.
Yeah.
So again, keep that in your hat.
Okay. Big hat. It's all good.
Back to the story.
Wow.
1955, small farm in Kentucky.
Okay.
Let's introduce some characters, shall we?
Okay. I love it.
Right? Our story centers around the Sutton family and a few of their friends. This group was comprised of 8 adults and 3 children, so 11 people in total.
That's a suspiciously large number of people for like an alien story, I feel.
It's so funny you say that, because it is actually, like you said, one of the largest documented, like I said, cases, like groups of individuals that have ever eyewitnessed.
Yeah, because like most of it's like 2 people saw something and everyone's like, you're crazy, but then like these 2 people were adamant. Or it's like it's 1 person, or it's like a group of 3, but it's like never more than 4. So
Right?
like 11 people, like this happened. It's like, okay.
It kind of, right off the bat, gives it a little bit of like weird credibility, like you said, where it's just kind of like, what happened that 11 people, almost a dozen people, were able to agree that something happened.
Yeah. Okay. All right, Sutton family. All right. I'm willing to listen.
Good. You have to. You are my captive audience, literally.
I sure am, and I'm so excited. I'm here. I'm here to believe.
So, the Sutton family. We have Glennie Langford, 50-year-old widow and matriarch.
I love that. Glennie Langford.
Glennie. Ooh. Yeah. Her 2 oldest sons, Elmer Lucky Sutton. Lucky.
Okay. Lucky.
So that's
Glennie and Lucky.
Glennie and Lucky. JC Sutton.
JC. So we got Glennie, Lucky, JC in Kelly, Kentucky. There's a lot of E's.
There sure are. And it only gets more E's from here.
Uh-oh.
There's Vera.
Okay. Beautiful name.
There's Aline.
All right.
Aline's brother, O.P. Baker.
Opie. Okay.
O.P. like O, like the letters O and P.
Oh.
Not like O.P. like O.
He's overpowered. Oh, God.
Overpowered Baker. This is actually the real origin of the Muffin Man. O.P.
Oh, my
Baker.
God. O.P. Baker. He's too strong. He's too strong for Kelly.
So that O.P. Baker, that's Aileen's brother.
Okay.
The Sutton's family friend Billy Ray Taylor, and his wife were also there.
He sounds like
Billy
a
Ray
country
Taylor's
star.
wife, right? Right.
Billy Ray Taylor.
Billy Ray Taylor. His wife's name was June.
Oh.
And then Glennie also had 3 younger children: Lonnie, Charlton, and Mary.
All right. So big family.
I think it's Charlton. It might be Carlton, but it's CH. I think it's Charlton.
Maybe.
I don't know. We're gonna read it like that. I hope I'm right. Anyway.
We'll correct it in the postmortem if it's not.
So those are our main. That's our main cast.
Okay.
The setting. It was a warm Sunday evening of August 21st, 1955, and the whole gang, was hanging out at Glennie's farmhouse. Her farmhouse was a simple 3-room, unpainted house with no running water.
Oh, that's a weird detail.
It comes back in 3 seconds.
Okay. Sorry, my bad.
The reason they had no water. Not the reason, but it like pushes the narrative. It doesn't.
It's a plot point, and it's important.
didn't have running water. Anyway, the Taylors, Lucky, and Bear Sutton were just visiting. They were carnival workers who needed a place to stay for the night, actually.
Okay.
So it was a true case of, wrong place, wrong time type of a thing. Like, they really wish that they weren't here tonight.
Sure.
Following documented accounts later given to authorities, the outlandish events of the evening started around 7 p.m. It was a hot evening, and I'm sure the sun was just about to set. So before it got fully dark, Billy Ray decided to fetch some water from the well in the backyard for the group.
Because they had no running water.
Yes, see, exactly. I said 3 seconds.
I just want to know why they didn't have, were they just not feeling it? They were not feeling like infrastructure? I guess this was the 50s. Maybe it wasn't commonplace.
It's the 50s. It was a farmhouse. It's just like, they didn't have it. Don't be so judgy.
I'm sorry.
Okay, we're so used to our coddled butts now with our running water.
With our running water and our aqueducts from the Romans.
You with your aqueducts.
It reminds me a lot of signs, because spoiler alert for the movie Signs, but like water is an important feature in Signs. And they just like leave glasses, like you have running water in that movie, but like water is such a prevalent like plot point in Signs.
It doesn't come back after this. That was it. That was the only water thing that happened.
But I wonder if that like inspired like why there's so much water in Signs, because they were like this particular instance of alien encounters had no water, and that's really where they went wrong. But because this farmhouse had a fuck ton of water everywhere, they were fine.
That could have been it. That could have been it.
That could have been it. Or maybe it's just a weird coinkydink. Who knows?
It's just a weird coinkydink. This did spawn or inspire.
Spawn is a strong word.
It planted the seeds of creativity in the brains of authors everywhere.
Okay. All right.
That's my way of, that's how I'm going to put that.
That's foreshadowing, ladies and gentlemen. That's foreshadowing right there.
Yes, there's a reason. Anyway.
There is a reason.
There's a reason.
We will not address it at this point.
It was a hot evening summer at this point, and that's all we know.
Yeah,
We need some water. So, during Billy's trip to the well, he spotted something in the sky.
Oh.
It was a silver object that he described as, quote, real bright with an exhaust all colors of the rainbow, end quote. He would later recount that the silvery object came toward the house silently, passed over it, stopped in the air, and then dropped straight onto the ground. Not knowing what this could be, the scared Billy Ray ran back to the house to share the story with the others.
Okay, all right.
At first, obviously, no one believed him. They literally laughed him off. They were like, oh, silly Ray. Like,
right?
It's ridiculous.
You saw something silver fly, stop, it was rainbowy. No, not in Kelly, Kentucky. No, not
here.
Not in the 50s, no sir.
No, I'm sure that's literally exactly what they said. But boy, oh boy, if they only knew the night they were about to have.
Oh.
After about an hour later, the family dog started barking at what seemed to be nothing.
Uh-oh.
Which, as dog owners, I mean, we know is really not that much cause for concern at first. But this dog would not stop. He was incessant.
Oh. Yeah, like after like one or two and like they stop, you're like, okay, it was nothing. But after like a good 30 minutes of barking, you're like, okay, maybe there is something out there.
Right? Like you said, like, okay, especially being on a farm, you're like, how long am I going to ignore this before we get up and investigate?
Yeah.
So, after a while, finally, Lucky and Billy decided that they needed to investigate. So the two men crept out onto the back door and were immediately met by a very unusual sight.
Oh.
Something glowing in the distance. And before they even had a chance to make out what it was, they saw something even more chilling. A small humanoid figure.
Oh. Is he green?
Now, let me please describe this creature for you.
Uh-oh.
Actually, let Lucky and JC and O.P. Baker describe this for you. This is based off their
Right,
accounts.
I trust O.P. Baker.
So, height, 2.5 to 3.5 feet tall.
Okay.
Sex, no indication. Head, almost round, bald, same color as body. Nose, none. One man stated very strongly that there was none. Neck, none. Ears, swept back, extended quite above the crown of the head. Eyes, yellow center, white rim, about 6 inches apart, glowing. Mouth, a thin line, but not sure that there was a mouth.
Okay.
Body, powerful above waist, muscles clearly seen. Below waist, thin and spindly, almost no shape to legs, stick-like. Hands, oversized, talons 2 to 3 inches long, webbing between the fingers, starting about a knuckle above the talons. Knuckles and fingers not counted. Feet not seen or just not noted. So let that silence just hang in the air for just a moment.
Okay.
Put yourself in their shoes. The sun just set. It just started to get dark.
You see this fucking spindly Dorito come out of the fucking corn.
And you see this, that your dog won't start barking, and you open the door. Something's in the distance. You're like, what the heck is that? And then all of a sudden you see a short-ass person standing there. And the longer you look at them, the more you realize that this is not a human.
It's that uncanny valley almost of like, your eyes kind of like brush over it and you're like, that's a small person. And like the longer your eyes kind of like linger in like the twilight, you're like, not person. What is?
Not a person.
Not person.
So, yes. This is about the time where I got the chills. I gotta be honest with you. I don't know why this description specifically, I don't know why this got me, but the one man stated very strongly that there was none about the nose.
None.
That just like, he was like, there was none. There was none. There was no nose. I'm telling you, there was no nose. Like, I don't know why. Like, it just like, that like got me. Like, I'm just like, he was just so adamant. Like, there was no nose.
Yeah, he was very impassioned with this lack of nose.
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay. Well, the fact that my description of alien kind of similar, kind of spooky, kind of, can I take it out my hat?
Is it? Yeah. So, like you said, this is a time you can look at it. Like you said, compare the two. Compare that description to the one that you just had in your hat and go, huh. And maybe ask yourself why that is for just a moment before we proceed onto the rest of this journey.
Well, alien movies were very popular in the 50s. Drive-in movies. Let's go.
Well, we'll come back to that.
All right.
So, completely terrified, the two men acted on their natural instincts. They grabbed a 20-gauge shotgun and a .22 caliber rifle and fired at the humanoid creature. The strange being seemed to be completely unaffected by the bullets, but raised its hands, sort of like how some people do when they're held at gunpoint, and slowly continued toward the men at the back door. No, it wasn't jazz hands, fam. It was not a fun little, let me just like jazz up toward you guys. I'm just trying to be friendly. He put his hands up. Like, please don't shoot. But also continued to walk slowly toward them. You're supposed to be scary, and you're not even scared.
I'm sorry. I was jazz handsing so hard. I got distracted.
Oh my gosh. Folks, she's not even scared. I had chill.
I'm so sorry. I just like imagine like because I think the way you flicked your arms up, my first instinct was like, oh, we're getting jazzy with it. But also, I'm like, what a power move that this thing like got shot at by a rifle, and he was like, oh, I'm gonna just hand at you real quick. And be like, I'm coming for you.
I mean, he was completely unaffected, so
yeah, it was.
I mean,
farmers used shotgun. It was not very effective. This little guy is either surrendering, walking towards you with a possible gesture of friendship, or he's jazz handing at you as
aggressively jazz handing at you
as a sign of dominance. And like at that point, you just give up. You're just like, I'm gonna put the gun down. I'm gonna close the door, and I'm just gonna let whatever happens happen.
Whatever happens, they have won.
They have won.
Yep.
They're jazz handed out there.
He now, has to take my daughter and, take my duchy. It's a whole thing. Yeah, like,
I just give up my kingdom. I become a garden hermit. That's it.
Yeah. Oh my God. So, I don't even know. But yeah, they're doing their best. They're terrified. Unlike you, they're terrified. They're shooting at this thing from the back door.
Yes.
They continued to shoot at it until this thing kind of did this weird, like, flip-like emotion, scrambled backward to its feet, and then just fled mysteriously into the darkness.
I feel like it really was jazz dancing at them. Like, if it
I mean, maybe that was
if it's doing a synchronized somersault backwards and then, like, disappears into the corn, like... maybe it was just like that. Maybe that's how they say hi. They say hi on whatever planet this thing's from. They're just like... I'm about to show you this sweet-ass recital. They're not really digging it. They're throwing something at me. It kind of hurts a little bit, but I just got the show must go on.
The show must
and then I leave.
And that's all, folks.
And the top out comes out.
Oh my gosh.
It's the 50s, baby.
It's the 50s. Well, like I said, unlike you, these men were still shaken. The 2 men retreated inside for cover. So I'm sure that the rest of the group, if they had not already heard the gunshots and commotions or straight up just saw what had happened, Lucky and Billy would have immediately started telling them and sparing no detail. It was probably a very crazy moment of just like, oh my god, what just happened? Like you said, we saw this thing, shot at it, our bullets did not even phase it. What the heck?
Yeah, I feel like this is where like the more hysterical descriptions, like this is where like the no-nos kicks in. Is like, its legs, they were sticks. Its body was a Dorito. It had spindly legs. It had talons. It had no nose.
No nose.
It had no nose.
No nose. Well, possibly, but we'll see.
Okay.
Uncertain of what to do next, the group just kind of remained in the house, just waiting for things to happen. This is when one of them spotted a creature leering in at them from a side window.
I don't like that. Like,
No.
even if it is a silly little Dorito man, like, I don't like things looking in at my window. That's my business. You can't be here.
You don't like silly little Dorito man staring at you from the corner of the window?
Not particularly. I don't like things Blair Witching at me. I don't like things like looking at my window uninvited. Like, I gotta invite that shit in. Like, if I want you to look through my window, I'm gonna tell you that you're allowed to look through my window. You cannot do that without, you have to tell me if you're a cop. You have to.
You have to. Well, Billy Ray and Lucky did not like it either because without hesitation, they fired through the window immediately with their guns.
That's not what you do. That's gonna break the window. That's just gonna let that shit in. No, you go around. Otherwise they win. Otherwise, the thing on the other side of the window is won.
They shot straight through the window.
Oh, no.
And once again, the creature was completely unaffected by the bullets. It seemed to just flip away from the window in that weird motion again and just scurried away into the darkness.
It really wants him to watch this jazz recital.
It's like, please,
Guys,
watch me.
I worked really hard on this. Look at my upper body strength. Come on.
Look, I'm so strong. Don't look at my legs. Don't look at them.
He skipped leg day. My little Dorito man.
After that, others began to appear at more windows throughout the house.
Oh.
They tried to shoot at those creatures too, but the creatures remained just completely impervious to the group's thunder of attacks. And they were shooting. I mean, like I said, through windows, through walls, through doors. They were like, these things need to go.
Yeah, Jesus.
Yeah. I went out into the hallway and crouched down next to Billy when I saw one approaching the door, Miss Langford told Isabel Davis, author of extensive report called Close Encounter at Kelly and Others of 1955. It looked like a 5-gallon gasoline can with a head on top and small legs. It was shimmering bright metal like my refrigerator.
Oh. Ooh. So this is like the gray one.
Yeah, it's a combination of what you described, basically. It was the short
and gray, and like strong but spindly,
with the webbed hands,
like webbed and stretched. The skin stretched over the body.
It completely took on both of which is horrifying.
Yeah, that is actually. I think that's probably worse.
That's why I don't know how you're not scared of this thing right now. I'm like, I still have chills. I'm laughing, but I'm uncomfortable. I'm very uncomfortable.
I think it's the cough medicine. If I wasn't like severely medicated, I would actually be like shaking him in my boots. I also keep checking your window behind you, and that's starting to freak me out.
That's fun. I'm gonna turn my light on. Hang on.
I'm so sorry. I think because it's like the really subtle like light shifting, so your like plant pots have been like illuminating. And so I'm just
like to hear that. That's not fun.
So I'm like,
this is not a fun fact you're sharing. Oh my gosh. There's just things moving behind you every now and again. I see these like glowing pair of eyes and I just think to myself, I guess she just has a cat.
You have 4 dogs. That's normal. That is normal.
Oh my god. I think this episode's gonna have a lot of bloopers.
It's bold of you to assume I'm cutting any of this out.
Oh my god.
No, it'll be great. It'll be great.
It'll be great. So, shimmering bright like the metal on my refrigerator. They're pretty scared. The group continued to fight and fear for their lives, silently waiting and listening to every sound of movement from the creatures. They heard scratching sounds coming from the roof.
Okay, you know that thing that happens when you get scared? Yeah, I
just felt the skin skeeves that we were talking about earlier?
Yeah, I just felt that in my spine. I was like, oh, no, I like the scratching.
Oh, I'm so happy that I was able to give that feeling to you. Mission accomplished. I got the episode.
Yep, I got my spine tingles. My spine is tingling.
I told you these things are creepy. Like I said, you're standing out in the middle of a Kentucky farm field at night, and you see this creature, And you think, okay, that's a little creepy. And then they keep harassing you. More of them appear.
For hours.
Like, you just wait. This goes on for hours, and it's not even over yet.
But I feel like they probably shouldn't have broken all those windows, because now they're definitely inside the house.
You know, surprisingly, we'll see.
Okay.
So they shot on sight whenever these creatures were spotted. Even though
I'm
the house
amazed
seemed
one
to
of them
be-
didn't get hurt. Like, if they're just, like, firing willy-nilly every time something weird comes around the corner, like at that point you're on edge. And, like, what if, like, your brother Billy Dan comes around the corner and he's just like, well, now he's full of lead. I'm so sorry.
Literally, I thought that so many times as I was reading about all the different things they shot out and how close the other people were. I'm like, they were either really good with guns, or they literally were just like, this thing must die even if you gotta die with it.
I'm gonna say it was both. They were probably like very, very well like skilled marksmen, but also they were just like they were all just like 11 people back to back, just like swinging in a circle.
Yeah,
that's what I
just like
imagine.
shooting at things. Yeah,
Like, I know I can't shoot my family if they're behind me.
Even the kids, like you said, everyone gets a gun.
Everyone gets a gun.
We gotta take down the Martians.
Kids were in the middle. It's like a rhino circle, right? Like all the baby rhinos stay in the middle, and all the adult rhinos circle. That's what I'm imagining.
I feel like that's a pretty good description. I'm sure I don't know what they look like for sure, but I feel like that's a pretty good description.
I like the gun pit wheel personally.
Yeah, it's a good ploy. So at one point, I think the calamity of all of this started to get to Billy Ray, and so he decided to go out to investigate or intimidate or something. His motive was unclear.
He finally wanted to go watch that jazz recital.
He decided, yes, he's like, I am going to be the one to see it. If I just go out and watch, then they'll leave.
Yeah.
So he decided that he was going to step outside.
I don't like this plan. I think no jazz recital is worth this.
It's not a good plan. Witness reports later recounted how when Billy stepped outside under a small overhanging roof, a clawed hand reached down from above him to touch his hair. Not to hurt him, not to do anything, just to like pet him, just to touch his hair.
Well, because they're bald, they don't have hair.
They're just like, oh, what would it be to have hair?
What is this? What is this strange stuff grown from your scalp?
Well, in the moment, it's terrifying. So the group screamed in horror and quickly pulled Billy back inside the house, all while Lucky shot at the creature on the overhang. And this is one of those moments where I'm like, how did he not shoot Billy? They're grabbing him inside and he's just like, blast! And it's like, that thing was just touching his head. What do you mean? Like you just shot above his head.
I want to see like photos of the damage to this house. Like that's what I want. I want a full like walk of this house and just like look at all of the fucking holes everywhere, and the window's broken, and the ceiling is coming in, and there's no running water, and everything is awful. That's what I want to see.
And everything is awful. Yeah, everything was awful. Lucky was shooting. He shot at another creature in a nearby tree, and the group actually described how it like floated to the ground and then scampered into the woods. But the way that they said floated instead of like fell, like it almost like defied gravity and just like
it was holding the glide button.
Floated. Yeah, I don't know.
It's weird.
After that, they decided to keep the doors shut, or what was left of the doors shut, while they endured this nightmare. And I am sure they were just praying for it to end.
Yeah, jeez.
And like we said, this went on for hours until the group decided that it had enough. At finally 11 p.m., they made a break for it. So this started at 7. It is now 11.
That's 4 hours of hell.
4 hours of hell. This group of 11 people decided that they were done, and they made a break for it. They ran as quickly as they could to their cars and drove as fast as they could to a Hopkinsville police station.
Not to the Kelly police station. I guess maybe Kelly didn't have a police station.
Kelly did not have a police station. The group stumbled into the station terrified, out of breath, and with a crazy story to tell.
Yeah, I can imagine. You imagine being that cop like first thing in the morning or like middle of the night, and just be like, it's gonna be a nice slow shift
in Hopkinsville.
In Hopkinsville, and there's like this family from Kelly is like driven in, and they're like, the lawless Kelly people. What story are they gonna tell for me? And they're like, our home was invaded by fucking Dorito people.
Literally. So yeah, the Suttons would go on to recount one of the most crazy and just most terrifying nights of their life, to be honest.
Yeah, jeez.
And now normally, while this type of claim would not be taken so seriously from authorities, I think this quote from local police chief Russell Greenwell sums it up quite nicely. These aren't the kind of people who normally run to police for help. What they do is reach for their guns. And as we know, they did.
They did.
But yet here they stood, almost a dozen people, completely frenzied, wide-eyed, one man with a pulse of over 140 beats per minute.
Jeez.
So something must have happened, right?
Like, jeez, it's like especially if you know this family, and you know that they're the good stock, they're good Kentucky stock from the 50s, and like you know that like they're unfazed, like they deal with their issues, you know, like they're gonna shoot first, ask questions later. They're gonna like, oh, it was a raccoon in the walls. Like, this ain't no raccoon.
Yeah, right. Like you said, you think like any good folk from Kelly, they're just gonna deal with their problems. They ain't gonna be fazed by nothing, and they come running in, and they're like, we have a crazy, and they just look absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
In the middle of the night, nonetheless. Like, it's one thing, like, to, like, I don't know, mention something the next morning, whatever, to come running in the middle of the night, like, something literally scared them out of their boots.
Yeah. Just like at that point, they'd given up their house. They're like, whatever they want, they can have it. We're just gonna leave.
Put it in your hat.
Oh, dear.
So, Greenwell at first suspected heavy drinking, but Miss Langford assured him that liquor was not allowed in the farmhouse.
No, that's for outhouses only.
That's, well...
We don't got no running water, but the moonshine be flowing out there.
Apparently the whole family was not, they did not drink.
No, okay.
But nonetheless, they needed to investigate more before coming to any conclusions. Even though heavy drinking was the main suspected reason for these sightings, or the cause of the sightings, Police Chief Russell Greenwell did not hesitate to call for backup immediately before going out to investigate the Sutton family farm.
This man is smart. He's just like, I don't really believe this family, but just in case, I'm going to call every person I know.
But just in case what they're saying, just in case, that does sound kind of scary, so let me call some backup real quick. Like, I get that.
Yeah, this cop, he would survive. This cop is surviving.
I get that. Yeah, he did the responsible thing.
Yeah.
So his team was joined by military police forces from the nearby Fort Campbell, as well as a photographer from the Kentucky New Era.
So he just got the military involved. He's like, no ordinary other police officer will do. I'm just gonna call in the special teams. Like, I can't be doing it.
This is UFOs. Like you said, this is the 50s. People were scared.
Yeah.
So, We'll talk about that more in another episode. This episode, like I said, volleys very nicely to another episode later on.
Oh.
So I'm excited. But back to Kentucky.
Oh.
Greenwell and his team did not find any creatures at the farmhouse, but there was definitely evidence of a shootout.
Yeah.
Investigators found shell casings, bullet holes, and other damages, but no evidence was found. Evidence of creatures or evidence of heavy drinking, that is.
Oh.
Which Glennie was basically like, I told you so, to investigators. They were still kind of insistent that the drinking was the most likely explanation for this madness, but with no proof of anything other than a shootout, there wasn't really much of anything for them to do, so they left.
Like, what would you do? Like, if you can't see what they're shooting at, they're like, well, I guess it's gone. Whether it was like a rabid horde of raccoons or those pesky neighbor kids or something, whatever it was. Like you said, there's no complaining witness other than you, and there's nothing here to press charges against, so sorry. Yeah.
Thank you so much for coming. Goodbye.
Farewell.
They came and investigated and they left, and that was pretty much it. So at this point, it was around 2:30 a.m. in the morning, so they literally had went right after the Suttons came and reported this. They took their statements, did their thing, and then went straight back out to the farm. So at this point, 2:30 in the morning, just as day was about to break on August 22nd in 1955, investigators had just left the farm and the family was presumably going to get some rest. That is, before the creatures came back.
Those bastards.
Miss Langford described the one she saw. About 3:30 a.m., I was in my bedroom and looked out the north window and saw a small silver shining object about 2.5 feet tall, and it had its hand on the screen looking in. I called for my sons and they shot at it and it left. I was about 60 feet from it at the time. I did not see it anymore.
I really don't like the window peepers. Like I could do without window peeping. It's so invasive.
It really is. It's such like you said, an invasive and intimate thing of just kind of what are you doing if you're just staring at me? What do you want to know? It's just so weird because it's you don't even want to bring me harm. You're just studying me. What are you doing? Or is it an animal stalking its prey, or is it a more intelligent species wanting to learn about a less intelligent species?
Yeah, it almost it gives me curiosity vibes. When we go to a zoo, with kids especially, when they go see an animal they've never seen, hands on the glass, noses pressed. I just want to observe you. And like
almost like the childish little blubber you were talking about with their little round bald faces and their giant eyes pressed up against the glass.
Yes, almost like that. It's like it almost was like a petting zoo. Like when you go and like take a kid to a petting zoo, and like they want to touch the animals, they want to feel the fur, and they want to like observe.
And they almost did.
And they almost did. So that's what like gives me like it's almost like a childish reaction. It's not like if it was an intelligent species, like I wouldn't assume. It was, I mean, technically adults can do all sorts of weird stuff. Like, I've seen adults try and pet polar bears, but, like, it's fine.
Like you said, this was actually a school field trip for aliens. They were just like, hey, today we're going to go see the humans. And if you're nice, maybe you'll get to pet one, but you have to be really nice and do your jazz hands really well, or else they get scared and they start shooting at you. And that's little Billy failed his jazz hands that day and went home and got an intergalactic F, and he was really sad about it.
Yeah, that would explain why they're only 2 foot to 3 foot tall, because they're children. And there's, like, the
children.
adult spindly one in the cornfield, like, oh, you're good children. You're doing your jazz recital.
Are you doing your jazz recital for the humans?
Yes. They're on like they got like 4 limbs because like at that side they're just huge. Yeah,
we cracked the case, ma'am. We don't even
done solved.
That's what happened.
It was it was an intergalactic field trip and they all failed.
That's a movie I would actually watch. I'm not gonna lie. It would be a really good comedy.
It kind of would be, actually. It's like from the aliens' perspective, where they're just like, children. It's like really scary looking aliens, but like, children, don't forget to do your jazz hands. And this kid's like, is it working? Is it working?
And you just see, like I said, the scared humans like shooting at them, being like, what the fuck?
Like,
oh my God.
They're being loud. Or like cheering for me. I don't know.
We need to write this movie.
This is the Spookery TM. You can't have it.
Spookery TM. So, like I said, this case did inspire a lot, and we'll talk a little bit about that, but right off the bat, it did not take long for the media to pick up the story of the Hopkinsville Goblins, or these little men.
Yeah, goblins is an interesting choice of word. Like, I guess, like, a goblin wouldn't be the first thing that I picked, but yeah, like, it kind of fits. It kind of fits.
Right? I know. Like you said, it would not be my first choice of words to describe these little creatures. But after you say it, you're kind of like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, my little Dorito goblins. Like, sure.
And my little Dorito goblins. Yeah, name of the episode right there.
Alana's little Dorito goblins.
Alana's little Dorito goblins. Oh my gosh. So, a rep from a local radio station named Bud Lewith interviewed the adult eyewitnesses and made drawings based on their accounts, which is actually where we got that lovely description from earlier. So, thanks for that, Bud.
Oh, can we see these drawings?
Yes, I will happily share them with you. Do you want me to share them now or after the case?
Oh, show it to me now.
Now? Okay,
I want to perceive the Doritos.
So that's the main one. That's the one that I took this description from. It's a really good one.
Oh my God. Why do they look
creepy?
Like they look like Murlocs from World of Warcraft.
They do. They have an aquatic feel to them. I'm so glad you said that. It's the ears and the eyes particularly that have some sort of an aquatic and amphibian.
Yeah, they're very fish-like.
Yes.
The fact that the eyes are like on the side of the head too, that's like very like.
It's very fish-like.
But also, did you know that like eyes on the side of the head, that's for prey. That's a prey evolution trait.
You're
so
right.
So if you have eyes on the side of your head, it's so that you can perceive enemies. And I want to know what's fucking hunting these things.
Yeah. Oh my God, if there's something hunting these, no, that's not something I want to see.
Now we're asking the real questions. But yes, they're very
Yes, they are. Oh my gosh.
I get the goblins. Now that I've seen a picture, like, yeah, they look like Murlocs.
But you even had it in your head. Even as we were talking about it, you were able to come to that conclusion. But like you said, seeing this and looking at it, you're like, yeah, that's a goblin.
Yeah, I guess, yeah. Goblin fits. Yeah. Now that I've seen that description, goblin fits.
Especially like hunched over, you know what I mean? Like think of it like doing like a backflip and like scurrying on the ground. Like it's very goblin-y.
Yeah, it's like very it's very animalistic.
It is. It is, yeah. So, like I said, tuck that in your hat, because that comes back to one of the theories.
Uh-oh.
So, yeah, we got these lovely descriptions from this interview with Bud. Bud mentioned that he was impressed by the group's their remarkable specificity and consistency, even though the men were away from the farmhouse all day and unable to coordinate with the others. So like you were kind of saying earlier, this was a large group of people and one that didn't have time to coordinate any sort of a story and then almost immediately dispersed and just went back to like their regular life. And so like as people talked to them and like were like, hey, what's happening? Their stories were really consistent and that's really spooky.
Like that's when you start seeing cracks. Like wait, I thought you said that like they were like this, or like wait, are you sure they weren't like this? Like, well, someone told me that they were like this.
Exactly.
The fact that they were all on the same page.
Yeah, and their main accusation, their main thing was like, this group's got to be drinking, but it's like a group of drunks would not be able to consistently tell the same story. They just wouldn't. I'm gonna be honest, they just wouldn't. It just wouldn't happen.
Yeah, no.
So that's just a weird tidbit. So this case stood out. Even the New York Times reported on this incident. With all the attention from newspapers and radios, the public's curiosity around this basically grew overnight, and from there it was kind of like the Bonnie and Clyde effect. People just started showing up because you can't keep people away when they get curious. They just intrude.
Morbid curiosity, like you just get their fingers in everything.
They were like, what can I touch? What can I take?
I want to know.
Yeah, and it's kind of really rude.
It is rude. Once again, it's like the aliens. It's invasive. It's like you've got these like weird little gray Dorito goblins like peeking into your windows, and then you've got these people, like people that you should know or people that you've like interacted with, and they're doing the same thing. They're touching the windows. They're peeking inside. They're trying to touch your stuff. It's like it's invasive.
It's so invasive. Like the audacity. I would be so fuming. You just go through this really invasive night of your life, like you said, with these creatures you don't know, and then real humans come and start doing it to you, and you're like, can I just get some peace? I shouldn't have said anything.
Yeah.
Truly.
I wonder if that's why they call it an alien invasion.
Because it's an invasion of privacy.
Yes. It's not an invasion of my planet. It's an invasion of my privacy. They're looking in my windows. They're snatching my people up.
Don't look at me. Don't perceive me when you're invading my planet.
Do not perceive me.
That's
I will
so
shoot
rude.
this window. I will shoot this window.
I'll shoot it right now, okay? Oh my gosh. So yeah, things were pretty bad. This was a pretty bad 48 hours for the Suttons. And even worse, as the Sutton story continued to spread, they were now the subject of a lot of ridicule and judgment from the public too.
Rude.
People began saying horrible things about them, claiming that the family were fraudulent, or in some cases just straight up ignorant, or like we mentioned before, absolute drunks.
Yeah.
They're like, they just have to be bad people.
Yeah,
to
like
be
the
making up
whole
something
family's
like
off
this.
their rocker. They're all smoking that special something. Like, I would, 100% I would be guilty of this, where it's like if a whole family was like, I done saw something and I shut my windows, I would be like, oh, okay.
We stay away from the Sutton's house, like you said.
Yeah,
but it's,
like that's the crazy house.
yeah, but like you feel bad. So the Suttons did what they could to try to combat this. At first, they tried putting up no trespassing signs to discourage people from coming onto their property at all.
Yeah.
Of course, this unfortunately proved useless. So when that failed, the family shifted gears entirely and kind of leaned into it, and instead started charging an admission fee. They're like, if you're gonna be here anyway, might as well just pay us money.
Yeah.
So
let's repair all those holes. Fix all our windows.
Yeah, so they charged 50 cents for entering the grounds, $1 for information, and $10 for taking pictures.
Wow. That's how you do it. That's how you do it.
Well, unfortunately, this also garnered backlash, as people now were like, look, they were just doing it for the fortune the whole time. This was a whole ploy for money.
This sounds like a comment, just a comment section of a YouTube video.
Yeah.
It really is. It's just like you're like, oh, like you were attacked, prove it. Oh, you don't want to prove it to me for free? Now you're just doing it for a scam. And it's like, oh my god, just fucking, like, guy, it's invasive. Just leave him be.
No, they couldn't win. This thing happened to them. They were the victims of this invasion, like you said. This was their home.
Yeah.
Whether it be other people, whether it be aliens, whether it be something else came into their property and in their space and disrupted their peace. And now other people were doing the same, and that sucks.
That does suck. That's awful. My heart goes out to the Suttons. Like, no matter what it was, whether it was like a mass hallucination or it really was those little creepy refrigerator Dorito men, like it's awful. It's hard. It's really, really hard.
It's just so true. Yeah. Honestly, the family really stood no chance of winning. Once the story got out there, it was completely out of their hands, and they were just at the mercy of the public. The Suttons were definitely just ready to put this whole thing behind them and move on. Apparently, a few days after the incident, kind of like you mentioned, with due to how relentless trespassers were, Miss Langford just decided that she didn't need this, and she just moved out.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm done. We swore this house just reds anyway, right? It's got bullet holes in the ceiling.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Jeez.
People won't stop coming. Peace out.
Yeah. I was about to say, like, also keep in mind, like, a lot of these people were, like, extended families, so they didn't live there. So, like, they had this experience, and then they left, and it's just this core family that are dealing with this whole backlash. That's awful. That's so awful.
Exactly. Yeah, it just sucked. So, according to the reports from people that knew them, this whole ordeal really troubled the family. They were honest, hardworking people who are now branded with this reputation of being drunken, dishonest people, which in a small town like that, you just cannot escape.
No.
Whether you believe it or not, the reality of this family being ruined after just one night where no one actually got hurt, there were no victims. It's really sad.
Yeah, but there were no there were victims. I think that's like psychological terror is just as harmful as physical harm. Like,
oh, I mean, absolutely. Yeah. I wasn't trying to imply that.
Yeah,
I mean,
no. I know, and that wasn't a stress on you. It was one of those like I'm sure this was reported that way. Like nobody got hurt, and I was like, people did get hurt.
Yeah,
Newspaper.
No, I just like you know what I mean. Like they at that point, I'm sure that they literally wish that they never brought it up because they're just like, okay, like, all we did was get ridicule from this. Like if we never went to the police, like the police did nothing for us.
Yeah.
So why did we go to them? They literally just garnered more attention for the story and our farm.
Yeah. It was just like everything they did made it so much worse. The aliens still came back, and then they were gone again, and then we're just left with this pile of like bullet holes everywhere.
Literally. Yeah. But before we wrap up the Sutton family story, we have to discuss the possibility of the theories of what actually could have happened that night.
Yeah.
And before I go into my list, I want to know, what do you think actually could have happened that night? If it's not aliens, what do you think?
Well, weirdly enough, my brain didn't go to drunkenness. I don't know if you're familiar with this thing called mass hysteria. It's a phenomena where somebody sees something or gets, I hate using this word, but hysterical.
Yes.
They get worked up and it's infectious. Like one person sees something and gets maniacal about it, and it bleeds into other people. There's a lot of instances in history where you have these mass hysterias where these just people who have never been connected or never seen anything before, like they all vividly see the same thing or they behave the same way, or like it's just an infectious behavior.
Yeah.
And I almost wonder if this was a mass hysteria where like one of them, the first one, it was a Billy something. Billy Ray Taylor. Billy Ray Taylor. He went out. He saw something he couldn't explain. That sows the seed of hysteria. He goes back into his house. And he's like, family, I've seen something weird. And they're like, well, okay, we're family. We believe you. Let's look into it. And then there's just this panic of these like unusual things. Like I've had scratching in my walls, like flat out. I've had that. I've lived that.
Yeah.
Turns out it was a bat. We couldn't remove it. It lived in my ceiling for about 6 months. It was great. Just living with this scratching in my walls. And it's like, it was a bat. But if I've already attributed to, like, my eyes to, like, I've got this thing that's looking, and it's like, whether it's like the reflections are weird, like I can see something through my window, but it's like, it's silvery, and like I can't quite like place its like, its features don't quite make sense. It's like, I wonder if it was just like this abstract mass hysteria. And then when the police were there, it stopped because they had that outdoor presence to be like, nothing's happening. And then as soon as that outdoor presence was removed and they were back into that circle of like who was participating in the hysteria, it kicked up again. That's kind of where my brain went. My brain was like, gas leak.
Gas leak. No water, but gas.
Yes. Well, I mean, natural gas. If you've got a rupture of natural gas, because like
that's true.
It's natural. And like if you've got, especially if it's like a scentless, odorless, like like you can't detect it, but it's addling the mind, and that leads into mass hysteria as well. That's kind of where my brain is going. Because that would explain like weird behaviors of like, why is it jazz handing? Why is it backflipping? Why does it float? It's because like your brain isn't quite perceiving it. It's like almost like you're drunk on chemicals, but it's not alcohol. It's something else, either where it's the mass hysteria.
Do you think that they would have had such consistent recollections of the night if it was a gas leak?
Well, I think if it was a mass hysteria, I think it would have been, like, because they're feeding each other.
The mass hysteria, yes.
Yeah, the gas leak.
You think it was a little bit of both?
I think if it was a gas leak, it would have built into mass hysteria, where one of them's like, I see something, and the other's like, yeah, I guess I see that too. Because like I don't have like, because if you ever get like an abstract description and then someone like, it's kind of like your picture of an alien, like you give me a vague abstract description, I'm like, oh yeah, sure, absolutely, like it looks like this, and as soon as you show me the picture, it completely flipped what I was imagining in my head.
Yeah.
So it's one of those, like, if you've got like an instigating figure where they're like, I see this, and everyone else is having that mass hysteria, and they're like, yeah, I guess I see that too.
Yeah.
And that's why
so
the
fair.
stories are consistent. That would be where my brain would go. But also, it could have just been aliens. They were really jazz-handy, and it was a school petting zoo experience for the aliens.
Right, or it could have just been aliens.
Could have just been aliens.
My theories go in order from most fun to most plausible, back to most fun.
Excellent. We have 2 most funs and 1 most plausible.
Yes.
I like these odds.
Well, there's 4. There's 4 in total, but 2 tie together, and 1 goes into the last one. So it's a roller coaster.
I love it. I'm here for it.
Yeah, it's great. It's confusing now, but it won't be.
All right.
All right. So theory number 1. It was not actually aliens. It was apes.
Apes.
And
Dorito apes.
so not everybody believed that the attackers were actually spacemen, of course. Alternative explanations suggested monkeys. So,
Okay.
supposedly one or more monkeys had escaped from a zoo or a traveling circus, or some even suggested test flight monkeys used in rocket experiments, one that had crashed in the area, and the monkeys had escaped.
Well, that kind of ties in with the family a little bit, because, didn't you say some of them were carnival workers?
Yeah, right?
So that would imply that there was a carnival in town.
True.
And yeah, a chimpanzee would kind of fit that description, where it's strong built upper torso, and then
Doing backflips and
spindly,
stuff, hanging from things.
Yeah, a very top heavy, swinging around, jazz hands.
Jazz hand, yeah.
Yeah, it kind of fits.
Kinda
I don't really
fits.
want to default to it was just escaped chimpanzees, but yeah,
That's why people suggested it, because they're like, the animal itself fits.
yeah. The physical
sense.
description adds up, boys. It was the monkeys all along.
The only problem with this is that there was not really any credible evidence of such an
Yes.
escape nearby.
Yes, they were just it just fits the description, and we just gotta believe it. There doesn't have to be any actual monkeys around. We just have to believe.
Yeah, so that was just pretty much it. People were like, maybe it's monkeys, and then that's it. That's as far as the thought process went with that,
Good.
which it worked.
All right.
But yeah, man, if true, wild.
Yeah. And just imagine a swarm of escaped chimpanzees just descending on this house, and they're also bulletproof and silver.
And bulletproof, and so, like you said, bald, just with crazy eyes, weird. Yeah,
because chimpanzees don't have eyes on the side of that. I'm just the facial description doesn't line up. The torso does, but everything else doesn't.
you would definitely see the nose too. I don't.
Yeah, I mean, unless the mouth is so pronounced that especially from a distance you wouldn't see it, maybe. But
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah,
That's just
I'm
one theory,
dubious.
not a great theory.
no, I'm dubious.
That's why I started with that one,
All right.
but it's a fun one, right?
Yes.
Because monkeys.
That's monkeys.
Second one, second one also related to animals. People suggested that it might have also been, as is with the case of several other types of cryptid sightings, that it might be just an owl. Just an owl.
I don't like that. Yes, my favorite type of owl, the Dorito swole owl that just fucking does backflips and jazz hands at you.
Well, let me tell you. So the great horned owl specifically is
My favorite kind of
said
owl.
to reach. Really?
Yeah, I love great horned owls. They got funny little flicks on
they're-
their heads.
They do, just like the little guys.
Yeah, but they're not prey animals. They have eyes on the front of their faces.
Well, they also have no necks and are pretty 3-ish feet tall.
But they also
They're 25 inches sometimes,
Yeah, but
based on my research.
they're not.
So
Yeah, but my bad. You know it. You're more of an expert on owls.
also, their eyes can appear yellow, and what else?
That's it. That's it.
And maybe their spindly looking things could have been their arms. I don't know. And they could have been their feathers could have been talons or their
Yeah.
claws. I don't know.
I guess if you're in Twilight, then you've got I remember the and this is not a great horned owl, but the owls that can suck in and become spindly,
Yeah,
they can do shrinky owls. I need to look up what those owls are called. But there are weird owls out there for sure. They fly silently, but also they don't come in refrigerator silver. Last I checked.
Well, some of them they have a light gray underside, and maybe with reflecting off of the farmhouse lights, it could have appeared as a silvery glow.
Maybe, but also, can you imagine how invasive this owl must be to look through every single window and is also bulletproof?
This owl was some owls are really invasive.
This owl was not taking the hint.
They are apparently extremely aggressive when defending their nest, and their activity typically does begin at dusk. So that kind of lines up, as well as we said, we're talking about the silvery gray. Miss Linkford did it say in one of her accounts that the creatures glowed. So, like, maybe, like, the glow, like I said, it was just, like, an illusion. Like, it was just a gray color with some light behind it. Maybe. I don't know.
Yeah, like, I can only imagine, like, maybe there was, like, gas lamps and, like, the reflection of the windows was, like, like, maybe there was, like, a weird sheen on the windows, because, like, most of the descriptions come from, like, I saw this thing through the window, like, hand pressed against the window, just heavily breathing. And, like, maybe...
That's definitely owl behavior.
Yes, owls have been known to do that from time to time. They also could cause scratching on the roof.
Yeah.
I'm trying to imagine, like, why an owl would, like with its wing, like, swoop at someone's hair.
Because you messed with it. Terrible.
But, like, I don't think it would come at you, like, standing on the roof, like, with a wing. I feel
Have
like...
you fought an owl?
I don't want to answer that question. I can either confirm.
You said you had bats in your ceiling, so I mean, like,
I would either confirm or deny the fact that I've duped an owl. But
well, then you probably know better than anyone.
yes, I would not. Like, I don't know. Like, I feel like there are better ways for owls to attack. I also feel like they wouldn't fight a whole house. Owls usually,
probably not.
Owls usually lose with windows.
That's true. Well, regardless, the owl theory, if it doesn't stick, the main problem, right?
Yeah,
with these
they're
theories-
not bulletproof.
they're not bulletproof. But also the flying saucer. This doesn't account for the flying saucer that Billy Ray saw when he was going to get water because the farmhouse had no running water.
That's true. They had no running water. I mean, owls are silent flyers.
It's true. That's true.
And if someone's experiencing a mass hysteria, maybe this guy's never seen an owl before.
Maybe they've never seen an owl.
Maybe he's never seen an owl before. He sees this object swoop silently and then, like, dives for food, and he was like, fuck, dude.
What the fuck?
I'm done. That was too much.
The definition of an unidentified flying object.
Quite literally.
I don't know what it is.
No, they can't call them UFOs anymore. They're UAPs now. Unidentified aerial phenomena.
Yeah.
I knew that. That was an alien fact I knew.
I don't like that. I don't like
They're
it.
like UAPs.
They don't like UAPs.
No, I'm sorry. Well, maybe an owl is a UAP. Maybe this family's... I feel like we should look up. Are owls native to Kentucky?
Are owls UAPs?
Are owls UAPs? And also, are they native to Kentucky? Specifically, Kelly, Kentucky. Maybe this farmhouse has never seen owls before.
I'm sure it was a farmhouse, and barn owls live in farmhouses.
Barn owls are not great horned owls. Also, aren't great horned owls? Aren't they like? They're from like Oregon. They're like
Oregon. They're only from Oregon.
They're only from Oregon. Gravity Falls specifically.
Yeah, you're right. That was the plot hole this whole time. Was great horned owls.
This farm is
only
in
from
Oregon. It was never in Kentucky.
It was never in Kentucky.
No, I feel like.
Oh my gosh.
I feel like the specific owl that we were describing. I don't know if it's local to Kentucky. I feel like we should look that up. I'm gonna look it up. I'm googling.
She's looking it up.
I'm googling it.
Chat. She's looking it up.
I'm looking it up. Where are great horned owls? I love great horned owls, but I don't know where they are.
I can't talk about my next theory because we're looking up if owls are native cookie.
Apparently they can come to Florida. I don't understand.
Apparently they can come to
Where are you from?
I mean, owls have wings. They can go anywhere they want.
I mean, yes, but also they can live in deserts, wetlands, forests, grasslands, backyard cities, and almost any other semi-open habitat between
literally
the Arctic and the
anywhere,
tropics.
because owls can do whatever they want. They don't have a municipality either.
They don't believe in currency.
I can't breathe.
I'm gonna say great horned owl, Kentucky ?
Kentucky ?
Kentucky.
Do you add punctuation to Google?
No, I just say it out loud. It makes me feel better.
Okay, I was like, wait a minute.
Sometimes I do. Sometimes I do, but
I
not
was like,
usually.
how old are you?
I am a child.
I'm not old too, but I sometimes also. I was like, do you do that?
I am
too?
also a child.
Do you also say please and thank you to AI?
No, maybe. I don't really engage with AI, I'm gonna be honest. I did thank them once.
Every time I've used it, I've always say please and thank you. That way in the AI uprising, they will spare me.
I mean, that's smart. I don't think I feel like I haven't engaged with AI enough for me to be. I actually know how I behave in front of them. I think the one time I have, I was very like I was like, please do this for me, and then it did it, and I was like, okay, thanks, and then I left.
Anyway, great horned owl facts. Looking it up. Are they native Kentucky?
Great horned owl, Bubbo virginianus, is a common year-round resident of Kentucky. They are a large owl in Kentucky and surrounding states and can be found statewide. Great horned owls prefer forested areas, semi-forested areas, and semi-open farmland. They nest in old hawk nests made from sticks, but will also use hollow trees, and that's all it says.
And that's all it says. That's all she
That's
wrote.
an AI overview.
So the great horned owl does. doesn't use AI, and she's reading straight from the AI overview chat. She just lies without even thinking about it.
No, it's from the Kentucky Department of Fish and Wildlife. Anyway, yes, great horned owls are in Kentucky. It might be,
Great horned owls are in Kentucky.
That's what we've learned, but they don't believe in currency.
That's what we've learned. They don't believe in currency, and this still doesn't account for the fact that there was no flying saucer. So we need to talk about that. So, as for the flying saucer itself, many speculate that this could have been a mistaken meteor sighting. So,
owls and meteors.
They're actually owls and meteors. They go together like
birds of a feather.
Cats and dogs. Birds of a feather. You look at you. You're to cut my response. You're responsible. You see, there was actually several other accounts of meteor sightings that same day that Billy saw the flying saucer above. So,
maybe he's never seen a meteor.
Maybe.
He's never seen owls or meteors. They're not very common in Kentucky, apparently, but they are.
They are not. It's just not for Billy. So could the creatures seen have been owls, and could the flying saucer have been a meteorite? Quite possibly. Interestingly enough, someone who was at another farm just down the road from the Suttons had seen the meteor as it had been passing overhead. Oh. And I actually want to talk about him for a second because his story and his recollection will slide us perfectly into our final theory.
Oh, okay.
It also sheds some light a little bit on the Suttons' reputation.
Okay.
Like as a family. This is someone who actually knew the Suttons.
Right.
So, let's talk about Bill Thomas.
Bill Thomas. What a name.
Bill Thomas.
Bill Thomas.
I know. Not Billy.
No.
Bill Thomas.
Bill Thomas.
Billy was... No. I just said not Billy. Oh my god!
Not Billy. Billy.
Bill was 14 years old in 1955 and worked about a mile and a half south of Kelly.
Okay.
At a truck stop diner. On that fateful Sunday evening of August 21st, 1955, Billy rode his bicycle down to his cousin's house in town to help him fix a wagon wheel. Yep. His cousin's farm was the one who was right down the road from the Suttons.
Okay.
Coincidentally, that day had supposedly been the day of an eclipse.
Oh.
So the day and night itself were especially dark. Bill recalled, something went over us when we was working on that wagon. I just looked up and there it was. And after it went by, a light lit up like the whole sky. Bill thought it was a meteorite or a shooting star, but it had an odd purplish blue color and seemed to leave a smoke trail behind it, like a craft of some sort.
Which does match the description. They said it had like a rainbow trail.
Yep. This went by and it made a funny noise, Bill says.
Oh, but
like a hiss.
Zzz. Didn't Billy Ray? He said it was silent. Said it didn't.
Billy Ray said it was silent.
It had no noise.
It had no nose, but he was adamant.
No nose.
No, it had no noise. So he said no nose and no noise.
Yeah.
I don't know how fast it was going, but now that I've flown airplanes, I know a bit more about how fast. As a little more of an educated guess, I would say that it was doing a little better than 700 miles per hour.
Oh, just casually. You just knew.
Just casually.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, he's flown airplanes before.
I believe him. I believe Bill Thomas.
Yeah. So the pair expected to hear some sort of an explosion, something hitting the earth, but they didn't. We didn't think much more about it, he says. It was getting late. So just kind of add some credibility to the possibility of the UFO sighting being mistaken as a meteorite, right?
Okay.
Well, hold your horses because we aren't done yet.
All right. They're being held. Holding them.
Being held. We still got one more theory to discuss.
Okay.
So let's continue to hear about Bill's night and see where it takes us.
All right.
From his cousin's house, Bill left and went to visit his girlfriend. Her place was only about 200 yards away, so really not that far.
So yeah, it's just Kentucky thing.
Just a stone throw. Yeah,
everyone knows each other.
He said he flipped on a small light on his bicycle to better see in the dark, and when he arrived, the two sat on the porch and talked. That's when they started to hear gunshots and yelling at the Suttons' place.
Jeez, at that point I would be like, it's time to go inside.
That's just normal Sunday night things.
Yeah, it's time to go inside.
We didn't know what was going on up there, he says. We didn't know if they were fighting or what. I could hear they were using 2 or 3 different size guns. Then you'd hear someone yell, I got him, and someone else say, he got up and floated away. Of course, we didn't know what they meant at the time. Word passed quickly in the area. Something had happened at the Suttons' place. The very next morning, Lucky came to see Bill at the diner. Mm-hmm. We'd talk about everything in the world, Bill says. So when I saw him, I had to ask about what happened last night, and Lucky told him the story. The creatures, the shootout, he told him everything. And when he did, he got scared all over again. Goosebumps sprung out of his arms and tears filled his eyes.
He had the skin skeeves.
He had the skin skeeves. Sure enough, these little creatures were there, Lucky told him. They were 3 to 4 feet tall, the color of silverish blue. They had big, almond-shaped eyes, long ears, and arms. And when you shot one, it would knock them down, but then they'd get back up and float off. I don't know what it was.
They get knocked down, but they get up again.
I don't know what it was, but we told the police, and they think we're a bunch of damn idiots or liars. I wish we hadn't said anything. I wish I hadn't said nothing, but it had happened, and I don't think I'd ever be scared that bad in my whole life.
Jeez. Well, okay, so he's like, I believe him. I believe these guys. These guys are good.
Right? Like, he's like, this sucks. Like, I literally shouldn't have told anyone. I was so scared. I didn't know what else to do, but like, damn, this was crazy. Yeah, so he said the police told them that they'd probably gotten a hold of some bad whiskey. The funny thing was, like we mentioned before, Lucky did not drink. Not then, at least. A few days later, Bill went out to the Sutton place. He says he saw the evidence. There were burn marks in the field where Billy Ray said something landed, there were holes in the roof and door, their windows were shot out, and there were peculiar scratches near the windows and one on the front of the house. There was no doubt in Bill's mind that his friend was telling the truth.
Jeez. Okay.
Which is my final theory entirely, that they were telling the truth the whole time.
It was aliens the whole time.
It was aliens the whole
what
time.
a fucking
Dun, dun, dun.
plot twist. It was,
Yeah,
in fact, aliens the whole time.
Yeah, you probably saw that coming, but what if it really was the truth the whole time?
I mean,
What if it was just some aliens needing a place to land for the night, and they saw some humans that were just doing their best to wave, aka the hand in the ear poses.
Yeah.
And next thing they know, they're being shot out. Even Miss Langford agreed with what we were saying and said it could have been some kind of Martians. But what if they were in trouble and had to land? I wish we'd have helped them.
instead of shot them a million times, thankfully they were bulletproof. Those little alien kindergartners, they were really, really bulletproof.
I know. She like so sweet though. She's like, I wish we would have helped them.
Yeah, like I know that they terrorized us for a good 8 hours, but also maybe we should have helped them.
Also, that's just the kind, I'm lady in her heart is just like, you know what, we should have extended a helping hand. And I'm just like, I like that quote from it. Just really shows how good of people that they were, like you said, that they went through this and we're still just like, maybe they just needed help.
Yeah,
we should have helped them.
I definitely, my heart bleeds for them. They don't strike me as a family of drunkards. They don't strike me as just people who were trying to sell a story. I feel like they genuinely were terrified, and they probably just didn't know what they were fighting, ?
Exactly.
But yeah, my brain still steers towards mass hysteria or possible gas leak.
Something.
Yeah, something definitely went awry. Something definitely went down. Whether it was an owl, a really persistent owl, or a swarm of chimpanzees, or it was something weird in the air, or it was a mass hysteria, or something was going on. But yeah.
Something. Like you said, that's all we know for sure is something happened at the Sutton family farm. That fateful Sunday night, August 21st, 1955.
Good old year. I mean, yeah, I feel like I should look it up if there was an eclipse on that date.
I did try to look that up and verify if there was in fact an eclipse on that date, but it was so long ago.
Yeah, it's hard to verify.
It was hard to verify.
And of course, eclipses are perceived differently in lots of different states. Like, as we've recently discovered,
exactly,
eclipses don't read the same in every state. So a perfect eclipse in Arizona is not a perfect eclipse in Florida, and so it might have just been a partial eclipse, or it could have been, not necessarily a solar eclipse, but just a lunar eclipse.
And that's what I was wondering, because he said that it just got especially dark, especially at night too. They said that there was no moon in the sky, so I was like,
Yeah, it might have been a new moon. It might have been a moonless night.
Yeah, moonless night.
Might have been. And it might have been an owl.
And it might have been an owl. But like you said, all we know is something happened. And I'm so grateful that I got to tell you the story, because I think this was a really great first alien case. Because it was so well documented and such a large group of people.
Yeah.
And so even, like I said, I want to believe. So this was just a fun case.
Yeah, no, this was a really, really fun one. I feel like this is the grandfather case, because of course, everyone's got a preconceived notion of what aliens look like, whether it's a tentacled bastard, or a small green man, or a tall gray man, or a Murloc from World of Warcraft. It's everyone's got a conceived notion, and I feel like it's these little stories that help build like the overarching, like, this is what we're dealing with. This is what's out there.
Yes.
And it's weird that like a lot of the telltale signs of aliens, they all have very similar descriptions. So like the 2 alien descriptions that I know, my 2 alien stories that I know that are on my spreadsheet, the description of aliens are quite similar to the ones that you've been telling. So it's like it comes from somewhere. So
It comes from somewhere.
I think I don't know if I believe. I like to believe that there is something out there. I don't know if it's smart enough to come find us, nor if I feel like we're smart enough to interact with them.
Yeah.
But I definitely feel like there's something is unusual about this. There's not an obvious like it's this.
Yeah.
Like it's not. It's there. Like I 100% think that there's something spooky did happen.
Yeah.
I can't tell you what it was. I don't know.
And we probably will never know. But that is sometimes the beauty of Spookery, is just getting to discuss these crazy little moments in time that kind of give you the skin skeeves, you know?
Yeah, the skin. Not quite the full blood skews, but a good skin crawly, good spine tingle, good rib chilies.
Yeah.
You know, it's like, yeah, it's a crazy one. I think the invasive nature of it, I think, is what gives it such a horrible vibe. And
Exactly.
I do. My heart bleeds for the family. I hope that, they were able to shake the bad reputation eventually, and maybe one day we will find out what happened at the Sutton family farm. Maybe it was owls. Maybe it was just a really, really irate owl.
Right? It would be crazy, like you said, years from now they go, yeah, it was just this farm was sitting on a gas line the whole time,
Yeah.
like just natural gases. Anyone that's here, just beware.
Yeah. It might have
You
been
just
just
never
awful
know.
kids pranking this poor family. Like
God,
that
right?
happens, and like it's perpetual terror. They have no way to deal with this. But it very well could have just been some really awful kids doing really awful things.
God. It's true. There's truly, we talked about like less than even like 5 theories tonight.
Yeah.
There's endless amount of things that it really could have been.
Yeah. It might have been all of those things. It might have been none of those things. It might have been aliens and owls. They were in cahoots.
They were in cahoots. Oh my God, that's a real good joke. That's a real good joke.
Not bad for all the cough medicine I've been inhaling.
Oh my goodness. Well, I think that segues us perfectly into our next wheel spin, ma'am.
Are you ready?
I don't know how that segues us, but it does. I just wanted to go into the wheel spin. I'm so excited to put aliens on the shelf and, just be like, I did that. We talked about that.
You did.
I
the
gave you
damn
the
thing.
skin skeeves.
You gave me the skin
I'm so
skeeves.
proud of it.
You succeeded. Whatever you wanted to do, you did it. Let's see what the spooky spirits have in store for you, ma'am. I hope you're ready. Because
I'm so excited.
I hope you're ready. Let's find out.
All right.
3, 2, 1, spook.
Come on, spooky spirits, don't do me dirty now.
Oh, Mama needs a new owl.
Mama needs a new owl tonight. Let's go. What is it?
It landed on cryptids and folklore.
No, it didn't. It didn't really, actually. Okay, then I know what I'm doing. I know exactly what I'm doing. I literally am going to work on this case tomorrow. Oh my God. Like,
Your second cryptids and folklore. That's like insane.
I'm so excited. Oh my gosh. I seriously, I know exactly what I'm doing.
I love that. I love that so much.
This is going to be a very fun, I can tease this right now because this is going to be so fun because it's going to be,
Immediate teaser.
because I know what I'm doing. Like I said, this is going to be not a cryptid this time. We are going folklore.
Oh, okay. We're
this is
even narrowing it
folklore?
down.
Yes, this is folklore that is going to have just a sprinkle of true crime.
Oh, I kind of love that. It's different. It's very different.
It's going to be really fun.
Oh, I'm excited, ma'am.
It's going to be really fun.
Man.
It's going to be so fun.
I'm-
Oh my gosh. And it's a local topic, so I'm really excited. I get to bring you here to Arizona with me.
Oh, ma'am. I'm so down. I'm so excited
Yes.
for our cryptids and folklore. I'm kind of jealous I haven't gotten this topic yet. Maybe later in season 2, who knows?
Maybe next season. Maybe
Maybe this season, because we're only on episode
Maybe
4.
this season. Maybe this season.
Maybe this season.
You never know. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. I cannot wait to tell you about this.
I cannot wait, ma'am. I actually legit can't wait. I'm so excited. Like, you have had banger case after banger case. The spooky spirits fucking love you.
They love us. We've had season 2 is going to be chef's kiss.
I agree. I think season 2 is a banger of a season. I thought season 1 couldn't get any better. Season 2 is like, hold my
Season
beer.
2. Hold my beer.
fucking beer.
it's gonna come out, and people are gonna be like, "What the heck have they been doing?"
True. With like, what are we doing? Everything. We're doing everything.
God, we're doing it all.
It's a lot of fun secrets.
Gosh.
A lot of fun surprises.
Oh my gosh, folklore, let's go! It's like urban legendy. It's so
Ooh,
fun.
Okay, don't spoil too much.
I can't. Yeah, no, you're just gonna love it though. You spooky listeners, lady, everyone, you're gonna love it. That's a spookery guarantee.
Ooh, I love it. Spookery certified.
Yeah, spookery certified. Oh my gosh.
Man. Well, you've got 2 weeks to get yourself sorted, get your folklore ready, and next week it is my second Hearts and Spades case. It's my thing that I keep
Yes.
getting.
I know. I can't wait to see what you pick for this one.
It's gonna be a fun one. I've got to. How would I tease this one? How can I? I think similar vibe to my last Hearts and Spades. Similar vibe.
It's a Michelina.
Yes, my Michelina. Similar vibe. It's a modern case.
Oh, I mean, so was Michelina though, wasn't she?
It was. Michelina is, as of right now, it is our most current case. But
Does this one trump that?
it might. I have to double check. I have to double check the dates.
Okay.
But it might.
Okay.
It might very well. And I guess as a backup teaser, we have been to this location before. And that's all I'll say. It's a Hearts and Spades.
What?
A place we've been before. And it's modern.
What?
And that's it. And that's all I'll say.
Oh my gosh. Well, I cannot wait for next week. Oh my gosh.
Damn. I can't wait for 2 weeks from now. Jeez.
Folklore. We getting spoiled.
It's going to be more owls.
More owls.
It's all owls.
on both cases, actually.
Yeah.
It's
It's all owls, baby. It's all owls from here on
all
out.
It's all owls from here.
Welcome to owlery.
Owl.
Oh, man. Well, thank you for just an outstanding aliens case, ma'am. That was so much freaking fun. I loved
Yeah.
it. I loved it.
Thank you. Thank you for sitting down with me. I know aliens is not something that like I said, it's not everyone's cup of tea, but it's fun. It is a fun thing to explore and be like, what if?
What if? I do. I like it. I like being in that zone. I want to believe, and it's one of those where it's much harder to explain away. Like, oh yeah, it was just the screaming foxes of the forest. It was just parrots. It was just no. It could have been. Who knows what it was? It's very fun, and I appreciate you. You told the story so well, and so perfectly, and it's an amazing first aliens case and an amazing addition to our spookery shelves.
Oh man, I'm so happy that you loved it because as you know, I write all my cases for you.
Ma'am.
And I'm so excited for, like you said, 2 weeks from now when I get the chance to tell you another amazing story.
Oh, I'm so excited. Well, while we gingerly wait for Hearts and Spades and excitedly wait for our lovely folklore confirmed case, Alana, where can they find us?
In the meantime, you can find us on YouTube and Instagram at Spookery Podcast.
We sure can.
And you can also send us messages or emails. Where, lady?
Oh, you can send us a cheeky little message at spookerypodcast@gmail.com, where you can put all of your theories, thoughts, questions, concerns, ideas, additions, everything you could possibly want, all in an email, and it will go directly to us.
Directly. Man, the power of the internet.
It's incredible. What will they think of next? Owl mail? I'm really on the owls now.
I do want to know, Spookery listeners, if you guys would please indulge me, let me know what you guys thought of as we were going through this, and I asked you to please think about what you imagined when you said the word alien. Let me know. Did it
Yeah.
match up to what we discussed?
Oh, I'd love that. I'd
Was it different?
I'd love to hear what other people's first thought of aliens are, because of course I
Right.
completely blanketed it with my own this episode. But yeah, that was just a lady fact.
We just need to know.
You just need
Let
to
us know.
Let us know.
I told you this was going to be very comparable to Taily Poe, and here we are.
Yeah.
Once again, everyone has their own version of Taily Poe, and everyone has their own version of Alien.
It's true. It's very true, and I didn't draw mine this time, but I would love to see and hear other people's just voices and opinions and concerns.
Yes.
Are your aliens green? Are they reflective like a 1950s refrigerator?
Like a 1950s refrigerator. Well, hopefully we find out.
Yeah.
But until next time.
Stay spooky, everybody. Bye-bye. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Goodbye, everybody.
Goodbye, everyone. Good night.
Goodbye.
You have derailed me so much. Your cough medicine.
I'm so sorry. I'll be here. Don't mind me. We're only 20 minutes in and it's already, we haven't even started.
We literally have not even started. I'm on page 1.5. This is nothing.
You're so welcome.
Oh my god. Where was I?
I don't know. There was no water.
Yes, there was no water and they all died. That's it. The end.
That's it. There were no aliens.
Shortest spookery episode.
Aliens was just a figment of our imagination.
It was just... Oh my gosh. Okay.